Well, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So today we're going to do a POV session of what healing crystals we're going to be using during the Mercury in retrograde cycle. And so I'm just going to show you the personal crystals that I'm going to be using, and it'll give you an idea of what type of crystals you can be using, what you can be doing. So I'll give you kind of little tools during this. As you know, Mercury in retrograde can be pretty brutal because it brings up things we don't want to deal with, things that, open doors that we haven't necessarily resolved yet. And so this is really the opportunity to go inside, clear it up, and to move on. And the only way we'll be able to do that is that if we allow those energies and those emotions to come up, and that we were able to move on. So just imagine that these are your hands, or maybe these are my hands, but these crystals are in front of you. And if you need to visualize the energy, you can do that. You can visualize the energy of these crystals, and it'll work just as great. As well as you can go out, get the crystals online, your local crystal shop, and all that good stuff. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay. So the first crystal that I think is really, really worth talking about would be blue obsidian. Look at that. Is that not beautiful? Oh my gosh. Now, if you watch my videos, you know the story of me getting this blue obsidian. If you don't watch it, well, now you get to hear it. So blue obsidian. So I was at the crystal shop. I was with my homegirl. She was like, she's very much so a hippie. So she was like, just choose a stone. Don't even think about what you're searching for. Just let something, reach out to you. I said, okay. So I saw this blue stone, and it just really threw me off because it said blue obsidian. And the only obsidian I had seen before was black. And so I was like, oh, this is really nice. And so we were both raised by our grandmothers, and they had just very strong effects in our lives. And because of that, we just felt like, yeah, that's black obsidian right there. And because of that, we just felt like it would just be so wonderful for us to be able to just take this stone and allow it to pay homage to them. And so that's how blue obsidian came about. Really, really beautiful. And so this is a stone for the throat, for clearing out. It's really an emotional stone, but it's very free-spirited as well. It's so crystal clear with that tint of blue. So you can use it for the throat and for the third eye for any psychic abilities, but it's also like a representation of emotional clearing. So you can use it to move on from certain things. So this will be perfect during Mercury in retrograde because certain things are going to pop up. You're not going to want to deal with it, but you're going to have to. So this is a stone you can use during your meditation practice. And all you do is you take it, you put the stone in your hand, you close your eyes, and you begin your meditation practice. So you'll do something like starting out by saying a prayer if that makes you feel comfortable, and saying, God, I really appreciate all that you've done for me in life. I appreciate the reverence of being able to live. I ask to be connected to my highest self and understand that my ultimate healing, my ultimate power, and my ultimate forgiveness, it's all in my hands, and that I have the power to control all of these things. And I release any baggage from the past. I release any baggage others ask me to hold, as well as I release any baggage that I ask others to hold, to be free so I can move on to my next spiritual path. And I say all of this in the name of I am. So you can do that. You can lie down flat. You can put that right on your head as well. It's just really a wonderful stone. Oh my gosh. I don't know why. It kind of looks delicious. Like a Jolly Rancher or something. So that would be blue obsidian. And the price of this, I feel like I paid $1. It's a pretty nice size, small, tumbled stone for $1. Now, you've probably seen this one before too. This is called specular hematite. Now, here's my rule with hematite. Kind of have a little hematite nail going on too. You all know I love my nails. But here's the deal with with hematite in general. Hematite is a very a very tough stone. And the reason why I say it's a very tough stone is not everybody can carry it. Usually hematite comes with a challenge, and challenges aren't all bad. Sometimes, you ever just kind of like, you have your bedroom and it becomes super dirty, and hematite is that stone that basically says like, hey, you want to dress up and go out, but the reality is your bedroom looks like a mess, so you're not going to be able to feel comfortable doing anything until you address that. That's what hematite is. So a lot of people find that it's very hard for them to wear hematite. It makes them feel very heavy, and I don't want to call these people delusional, but I think it's people who are not necessarily ready or in a safe place to be able to address some of these challenges. And you should never feel bad that you don't feel comfortable with this stone yet. You got to build up to it. Believe me, even me in my own healing practice, I've gone to healers and had such a rough experience in the healing process. I'm talking about getting sick during the healing process because I just was not ready energetically. I was not ready to let go. It was an experience within itself. So we all go through it, so it's okay. It's not a bad thing. But it also, if you utilize it, it can kind of show you your true north of what you need to get, clear the baggage up. As well as if you are receptive to it, you can like clear that stuff out and just be done with it. So this is specular hematite. I paid $7 for this, and on the back it's kind of like it's rough a bit, so I think that this side is like the polished side. Super beautiful. This is specular hematite. $7 or $8 I paid for this, and I got this from the crystal shop, this from the crystal shop as well. So if you go to something like an expo or you find a good vendor online, you'll probably be able to get these things much cheaper, a bigger stone. But of course, when we're supporting our local crystal shops, which I believe in doing, you spend the extra because having a brick and mortar is expensive. So I am not hating at all on them charging. They allow a convenience. Okay, so I'm gonna actually say this one first before I get to this main stone. This is blue kyanite. It's come up before too. I actually had a separate blue kyanite video where I basically talked about just if you use blue kyanite, you put it on your third eye, your brow chakra, or you put it on your chest and you go into your meditation practice, or you do some lucid dreaming or yoga nidra, you will, well, let me speak for myself. I experienced such a strong reaction to this. I'm talking about, I had some emotional issues, emotional traumatic issues within me that I actually was going to go to a healer to resolve, and I put this on my third eye and it started to come up. But when I was in it, speaking and clearing it out, I was able to do it from a place of strength. I was not in fear. I was in complete compassion, but still in a place of power. I didn't feel like a martyr. I felt like I was healing, and I was able to forgive myself, forgive the other person, and continue to move on. And so this is a really powerful stone. This stone itself runs like, this piece is $5, this piece is $10, and it feels physically like not energetically, but physically it's kind of like a slated, like, let me see if you can see it, it's kind of slated like selenite, so you could chip it, like if it's very fragile, so if you drop it the same way that you would drop selenite, it'll crack, it'll break. It's a fragile stone, super powerful. You can put it on your throat as well, and for the third eye. So if you need some help on your path, meaning like, I don't know what decision to make, I know that this is the purpose that I feel like I have, but I don't know what's a decision to make, because sometimes you're trying to make a decision and what gets hard is that you have to choose a new path, an uncomfortable path. And sometimes we're like, oh, uncomfortable means bad. It doesn't mean bad. Sometimes you gotta let go of the old, and so this will just cut straight through and give you a clear understanding of what you need to do. Okay, and so I'm gonna put that down and I'm gonna take actually a little intermission to drink some juice. Now it is Mercury in retrograde, and I use this time You want to see me shake my juice up? I use this time to cleanse, so I do a juice fast. It's really good. I do a juice fast in order to clear out all the stuff. When you fast, you get to a very high state of awareness and understanding. But be careful, because I don't work out. I don't do a lot of strenuous stuff. I'm mindful. I'm only doing 3 days of juices. The most I've done was 5 days of just pure juice. And I buy my juices because I find that I get a lot of the different fruits by buying it. Like, for example, this one has, it's going to be sideways, but let me see. Arugula, cucumber, pear, and lime. Perfect blend. I don't have to think about doing myself, but I highly recommend it. Oh, you can see the brand too. Support local business. So if you're in the DC area, oh, can you see it? It's called Chakra Wellness, and I bought my 5-day cleanse from them as well. I've also tried Just Juice. Okay, now I'm going on a juicing tangent, but it's really important while you're doing the internal work that if you need some extra tools and you need some extra help detoxing out of situations, juicing is one way that you can do it. You can, of course, juice these things on your own, but I just, I let the professionals be professional. And so this is pure juice. That means, like, there's not going to be, it is not a smoothie. So a smoothie means, like, you're taking all of these things, you're putting it in a blender, you're blending it up very fine, and you're drinking it. This means that all of these things in here has been juiced, and the extra product, the fiber and things, it's been discarded and set to the side. So I've done a smoothie. Well, they're both called juice cleanses, but I've done a smoothie juice cleanse before with Just Juice. I liked it. It was good. This one I like too. The reason why I don't opt for the entire smoothie is because I really want to allow my digestive system to take a break. So I don't really want it to be doing anything like spending energy breaking up food, because when you free up your digestive system, you also give yourself the opportunity, or your body gives itself the opportunity to heal other parts of your bodies, because we spend most of our energy digesting food. The second thing is thinking, and then the third thing is everything else. And so it's giving my body an opportunity to go and address some of these other things, to detox, to get some of the chemicals out, to clear out the colon and do that. So, take your time. If you've never done it before, I recommend just trying doing 1 day. You can do up to 3 days. I do want to explain to you that those first couple of days, they're pretty rough, because your body's turning from a state of digesting solid food to not. So you might feel tired, you might feel like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do anything. But once you get past that 3rd day, 4th and 5th day, you actually will start to feel very euphoric, and you won't be hungry. Like, you get 6 bottles. I'm assuming this is like 16 ounces. So you get 6 bottles to drink a day, plus, tea or water, whatever you want to drink. And when I started getting on the 4th and 5th day, I'm talking about I could only get through like 3 or 4 bottles, because your body just gets so full, and you're getting nutrients from these vegetables and things like that. But your body is busy doing other things. But again, you can't work out. You can't do strenuous stuff. I typically try to do these things on the weekend, because I don't want to push myself. And you always have to make sure that you take care of yourself. And get a mentor. If you want to ask me, I'll answer. But I know that we've taken a detour from Miss Crystal. It's funny to me. I'm not delusional yet. This is only my 3rd drink. But anyway, intermission complete. Now, do you see this crystal right here? This thing I've been looking for. So my birthday was last month, and I went to the crystal shop. I saw it, and they're pretty pricey. They're like this crystal shop was charging about $15 a gram, and the piece that's probably like maybe a little half that size, maybe 3/4 that size, it was about $45. And I thought to myself, I was like, look, I want to support, but I don't want this piece. I could buy other crystals too. And so I said, okay, well, let me do some work. And so I do occasionally buy crystals on Etsy. I actually just sent my sister's birthday is this month, and so I sent her a crystal box on Etsy. And so there are certain vendors that I do, like to go to, and I will most of the time buy crystals when I see it's like a reputable dealer. People are having positive feedback. They have a lot of orders under their belt, and that, just the logistic aspect is good too. So if you've never seen this stone before, this is similar in that it's a challenge stone like hematite, but this is hematite to the nth degree. So this stone right here, I'll pick it up and show you. This stone right here is called moldavite. So you're like, what is moldavite? Moldavite is, as they describe it, an extraterrestrial stone, meaning thousands, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of years, there was a meteor that hit the earth, and remnants of that is what began to create moldavite. So my understanding is that some people feel that this is the meteor, while other people feel that when that meteor hit the earth, that melting material is really what formed this. And so there's only one place in the world, Czechoslovakia, I think, is where you can find moldavite. Sometimes they come in like sheets. This one is like rounded, like it has this little dip right there. First I saw it, because I didn't choose this, it was chosen for me. And so, that's really prophetic, but I didn't choose it, it was chosen for me. And at first I thought to myself, I don't think that I really like the shape of this piece. Energetically it felt fine, but I didn't like the shape. And I realized that I'm like, you know what, I'm going to turn this into a little ring. And so, let me get it clear for you. Come on. Come on. Let me get it clear. So I'm going to turn this into a ring. Hopefully, there we go. Boom. Really beautiful. It has this green kind of like translucent view to it. Energetically, it feels. So I worked with this stone in my meditation practice. I'm going to let you just, that's the dip right there. Turn it around. But I worked with this stone in my meditation practice, and what I felt from it was kind of like this sense of all-knowing. It gave me a very strong sense of all-knowing. So just giving you a second with this moldavite. As I was saying, it gives me really a great sense of all-knowing. And it feels energetically like if you have a question, especially third eye questions, it's great for that. So you can put it right there on your third eye and meditate. You can put it in your hands as well and meditate with it. And really take that time to kind of just sit down and feel the energy of it. So ask your questions. So during Mercury in retrograde, things are going to come up. If you really feel like I'm completely lost out here, pick up that stone. It's also called the Holy Grail of stones, meaning people who hold and carry that stone, they're going to transform their life. Now, as we know, transformation is not necessary. It's neutral. I don't want to say energetically neutral, but it's not something that is positive nor negative. It's what will take you on to your next highest evolutionary path. So sometimes what we perceive as tragedy, meaning feeling like we lose a situation, like, oh, I can no longer start this business or something like that. And walking that path and clearing our energy out, which brings us into our next business journey or something like that. That's what that stone is. And so you're carrying that stone basically saying, I am a willing participant to move on to my next evolutionary path. I'm no longer going to make decisions or choose things that are lower vibrational or that hold me back or being stuck. So this is a stone that, if you're ready for it, you can definitely use it during your Mercury in retrograde time. And of course, some beautiful honorable mentions would be black tourmaline, one of my first stones, black obsidian that you see back there. That's a black obsidian wand. That's zebra stripe agate over there I'm pointing at. Palo Santo over here. Now I used to love sage, but Palo Santo is actually my favorite because I think it smells so like delicious. I loved cinnamon growing up, and it just gives me this cinnamon. It's like a cinnamon-y kind of thing. It's spice. There we go, spice. It tastes like you just wanna bite it. And it burns pretty well, and it lasts pretty long too. So I'll use this piece for our energy healing sessions, and I'm not even done. And maybe the piece originally was probably like twice the size, so it's pretty good. You also know that the Palo Santo tree, I believe, is a endangered, or a tree that you're not supposed to cut it down. So you're wondering, how do we get this? Well, how they harvest it is they only harvest the wood that has fallen off the tree, so tree branches and things like that. The actual living tree has to remain fine and not disturbed, but they will just like pick up, the dry branches on the side, and they'll go and they'll make whatever they need. They'll make the healing from that. You could also use sage. You could also use, I've heard frankincense. If you're gonna do frankincense, you might as well throw some myrrh in there. I'm just kidding, but I've heard frankincense is very, very powerful. It just depends on what you do. Now, you can also use things like sage, frankincense, and Palo Santo, and use it to channel energy, meaning you are going to sit down, you're going to meditate, you're going to use energy healing, and you're going to infuse. Sometimes they say it Reiki infused or energy infused into whatever it is. You're going to put a prayer, you're going to do, some people do petitions. You're going to put it in this so that whenever you burn it, it's continuing to move on whatever that intention was. So you want to make sure your intentions are clear and pure. As you know, I don't mess with the universe. I allow things to be, but if you like to, that's your business. But taking another swig, but yeah. Also, this is a time of planning, so make sure you take this time to realize what it is that you want in the places of creativity and healing and nurturing. Do not take an action, a physical action of something new until August, because you could start something now and then realize that it doesn't pan out. Realize it wasn't for your highest good. It was just something that needed to come up to clear. So those are all the stones. Let me tell you how much I paid for all of that. That moldavite, I paid $11 for, $15 after shipping. This I paid $10 for. I got it from an expo. This I paid maybe $6 for. I got it online overseas. This one, zebra stripe agate. Oh man, I want to say I paid maybe like $4 or $5. Also got it from an expo. So you could tell that you can get pretty big crystals from an expo. Palo Santo, I got it from a crystal showroom. They were having a spectacular deal. It was half price off. So I got a big bag of these, like maybe 20 long rods for $5, and I have this huge bulk sage that I don't use. And that's that. Oh, blue obsidian, we already talked about the specular hematite. So just remember to use this for your highest good. Take your time and just know that I am there with you. If you need any help, let me know. But these are the crystals that you can definitely use during your Mercury in retrograde session. So until next time, with so much love, take care of yourself. Continue to do your healing. And if no one said it today, I'm going to go ahead and say it. I love you. And you have so much that you're going to show the world. And I can't wait to see it.